Good. All right. Here we
Very good.
go. Adrian, thanks for doing this, man. Another Linchpin member interview.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy about it. I'm also excited about it.
Yeah, this is going to be fantastic. So let everybody know a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Where are you coming from in the world?
Okay, well, my name is Adrian Salgado. Uh, Weirdly enough, everyone in CrossFit calls me Capi. No one calls me Adrian. Only my mom, not even my mom calls me Adrian. Only my sister calls me Adrian. Uh,
Well,
I'm
let's start with that. Why copy? Where'd that come
my
from?
Capi. Capi comes from Captain America. I used to have a hoodie that has the Captain America hoodie, like a mask. And I put it on the first day of college. It stuck and stick, and people start calling me Cappy from there on. And it's a nickname that I like. So in Mexico, we go by nicknames by things that are kind of your insecurities. And in Mexico, if someone gives you a nice nickname, it's like stick to it and use it forever in your life. So yeah.
Oh, man, there's so much to dive into right there. So so you let people know that you're living in Mexico. So where in Mexico are you?
I'm in Veracruz. For everyone that doesn't know where Veracruz is in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico.
Okay. And in the upper part, Mexico's huge.
Yes.
You kind of in the upper third of Mexico, upper.
Uh, People say we are more in the south. Veracruz is more in the south,
Oh, okay.
but I would say we're kind of, I mean, if you divide Mexico in three
Yeah.
places, I think we'll be more in the middle.
Middle. Okay.
I know
Okay.
it's weird, but yeah.
Yeah. I was geographically embarrassed right there. I love what you just said there about the the nicknames, not to go down a rabbit hole, but I've spent a fair amount of time in South America, Central America, and Mexico. And it's one of the things I love about that entire region, if I was to lump it all together, is like you said, the nicknames. I feel like all the interactions I've had down there, people make fun of each other in like a friendly, I like you sort of a way,
Yep.
in a way that in the United States people would be immediately offended. But it's not
Yep.
offensive down there. Everyone just like makes fun of each other constantly, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's the fun part here. Yeah, and like you said, not only in Mexico, I think the rest of Latin America, the calling everyone by your again, here in Mexico, at least in my group of friends, no one is called by his name. Every single one of my friends, we call each other by our nicknames.
Oh, dude, that absolutely warms my heart. For anyone who's probably unaware, um, this is just how cool Linchpin is as well. I'm obviously not a native Spanish speaker, and as you know, I stumble through Spanish to the best of my ability, but I love Spanish. It's a fantastic language. And like weeks ago, or maybe a couple months ago, during an Ask Me Anything, somebody asked me about like hobbies, pastimes, and I just wrote like, I love Spanish. I've studied it off and on for my entire life, and it's just one of those things that I'm so happy when I'm doing it. I'm sad when I'm not, and I'd love to get back into it somehow. And there was like yourself included like three native Spanish speakers that are part of Linchpin that reached out and they're like, let's do it, man. Like, let's get together, once, twice, how many times a week and just let's talk in Spanish. And so yourself and I've got Nico who's from Argentina but lives over in Germany. I talked to him. We've got Sebastian in Ecuador. Like, well, now I'm like, that's what makes Linchpin so cool is we're literally connected through that. And so you and I get to talk every single solitary week. So I'm happy to get you out there. And so as somebody who has an appreciation for how difficult it is to try to speak another language at any level, how is your English so amazing? Is it
Well,
it's amazing?
thank you. But I mean, I think it has to do with the fact that my grandma is from Pensacola, Florida. She's originally from Alabama, so redneck.
It's awesome.
But yeah, my grandma is from there. My dad is not from the US. He was born here in Mexico, but he has talked English all his life due to my grandma. And sometimes when we were growing up, my dad always teach us how to speak English,
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
his way was of, if you don't know a word, how to write it or how to say it, uh, write it down in Spanish, however you think it sounds.
Mm,
So we wrote it in Spanish, and we get used to the sound of it and practice that word, but reading it as you would read something in Spanish. So
okay.
maybe, for example, sleep. Sleep, you have to say like the S, but you don't say the E at the beginning that we will say in Spanish. And the double E in English sounds like an I in Spanish.
Right.
So you write it in Spanish, you will write it like SLIP, and that will be sleep.
Right. Right.
So
Yes.
yeah, that's kind of it. And I have the opportunity to be on a semester abroad in high school to Australia, to Brisbane, Australia. So I kind of work a little bit more on my English there. It was fun because the Australian guys told me that I have an American accent, not even a Spanish or Mexican accent.
Oh, that's
And when I went then to the US in college, people told me that I have more like a European accent, not even a Mexican or
interesting.
Australian accent. Yeah.
You're
I
just from
mean,
all over the place.
yeah, it's weird, but yeah, I mean, that's, I think the reason I have such a good pronunciation or English in general, because
Yeah.
I can tell I have heard myself in English, and I can tell I don't have a Mexican accent.
You know, Spanish is quite prevalent in the United States as well. It's uh I don't know if it's every day, but it's certainly not uncommon for me to be wherever, out in town, at the grocery store, just wherever, and I'll hear somebody speaking in Spanish. Like it happens all the time. And as somebody who loves Spanish, it always warms my heart. Is it the same in Mexico, or do you go through your whole day and only hear Spanish, or do you hear, English being spoken here or there as well?
Um, I think depends on the city in Mexico, but more around the places that more tourists are. Uh, but I think we were talking, and we already talked about this in our conversation Spanish. But places like Cancun, Playa del Carmen,
Sure, sure.
uh, Cabo, Vallarta, that have Acapulco, that have more people from the US coming here, you can actually hear more people talking in English, but because they are not from here. But so here in Veracruz, really, really, really rare that you hear someone talking in English.
Okay.
I mean, even people that are not from here are talking Spanish.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So not a high tourist area that you're in.
Yeah, no.
Okay. I mean, that it makes it even more interesting to me. So when we were chatting before, and you sent me a little bit of info about your background and all that, you said when you were younger, kind of getting into sports and all that, that soccer, football,
Yeah.
will.
Football, yeah. To everyone that is
Yes.
not from the US, the rest of the world calls it football. You are the only ones that call it soccer.
So let's go ahead and call it football. Uh, you said you wrote a term that I thought was really interesting. You said that football is social currency among young men in Mexico. What do you mean?
Yes, yes. I mean, here in Mexico, if you were good at football, um, I mean, sounds weird saying football in English. I'm not talking about American football, so I will call it soccer.
Soccer.
So yeah, here in Mexico, being good at soccer when you're a kid means you're the king of the kids. I mean, the better you are at soccer, the better social status you have. I
You're the
mean,
cool kid.
yeah, you're the cool kid. I mean, it's like being the quarterback, for example.
Yeah, okay, gotcha.
So yeah, if you're really good at soccer, you're gonna have a great social status among your friends. Uh, and it's weird because all my life, I think I've played. Well, actually, I have played all different positions in soccer. I've been a goalie. I have been midfield. I have been a striker. But the one I like the most is defense. So I have played center and wing in defense. I love it more when I play on the side because I can go up and down, throw some kicks, some passes to the center, and people can get it with their heads. And center is just fantastic. It's like being the enforcer.
Oh, really? See, I don't know a lot
Yeah.
about soccer, like the different positions, the rules, who can cross certain lines, and like I don't know that. I just know that it looks like you better obviously be incredibly athletic, but you better have some serious conditioning.
Yes. Yes. You really need to. I mean, it's funny because when I was younger, I didn't have any problem at all with running. And now that I'm in Linchpin, I'm in the running is stupid club in Linchpin. I hate it with all my life.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's ironic because yeah, I used to love it. And I used to be really good at it. I could go the 90 minutes without stopping and continue maybe a little more. Uh,
Different phases of life, man.
yeah, and then I don't know what happened that I said nope. I think I know what happened. I ran a 10K race, and then after those 10K, I was like, nope,
All
no
done.
more. Yeah, I'm done with running.
So how was your social credit score for
Oh,
soccer?
badly, badly, really badly. I mean, I to this day I suck at soccer.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons I play defense too, because in defense you just need to stop the other players from scoring goals and take the ball out of the
Get it out
defensive
of there.
area. Yeah, get it out of there. Either through passes, just kick it high and fast and hard to get it all the way to the other side of the field, but just get it out of there. But sometimes when the other team is really good, you get a lot of work and you are
Oh, I'm
always
sure.
getting, yeah, you're always getting them to not score a goal. And that's where the fun begins. And that's the other thing that has like this social status or this social credit here for kids. And I think it's one of the things I don't like about soccer that it's really unfair about that if you're a striker, your only objective is to make goals. That's your only objective. You can not make a goal and it's okay because the defense was so good.
Mm,
If you're a midfielder, you have the objective of attacking and also being part of the defense when needed to be. But your main objective is to give the passes to the strikers so they can make the goals.
okay.
And if you're in the defense and the goalie, your objective is that there are no goals.
Right.
So that's I say that's unfair because maybe you won by 2 goals. You won 2-1, 2-1. Your striker made 2 goals and you take only 1 goal, but probably the possession of the ball was 30, 30% sorry for your team and 70% for the other team. So the other
Mm,
team was all the time in your area. You were defending
attacking,
like crazy.
attacking.
Yeah, you were defending like crazy. They only got 1 goal to you, but the ones that get all the credit are
I see. So, gotcha.
the
So no
strikers.
matter what, the
Yeah,
strikers are the heroes.
yeah. I mean, just look
Yeah.
at the biggest soccer stars right now: Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. They're strikers. They are not any defender.
Hmm.
I think the biggest defender probably will be Sergio Ramos,
I'm
from
sure
Spain.
that I'm sure that's just the unfair nature of sports, right? But I'm sure like the coaches on the team when they're recruiting, they understand how mission critical defensive
Oh
players are and all
yes.
that. But they just don't get the highlights and the all the filming and whatnot. But I'm sure every good team knows that like we're going to be a terrible team if we don't have defense.
Yes, and the other thing is that being on defense opens a lot of opportunities for you. For example, when I went to high school, the high school I went to had a soccer team in it. I used to have a scholarship there, and you have to do like some social work for your scholarship. And one of the ways of doing that social work was being on one of their teams.
Okay.
So when they were having the tryouts, the very first day of the tryouts, the coach said, "Okay, I need the strikers here. I have the middle fields here. Need the defense here and the goalies here." Two guys went for goalies. Uh, some of my friends that I knew from other teams they were there in the school too. They were in defense. They were like only four, maybe. Then the middle fielders were, I mean, probably the second biggest group, and
Hmm.
strikers there were a lot. So when I had to choose, I mean, I have played in all the positions. The one I like the most is defense, but also when I saw that, I was like,
Yeah.
I have a lot of no one's gonna play defense, so I have a lot of opportunity if I decide to play defense. I told one of my friends like, hey, why didn't you go for defense? There you had a chance of being on the team. It's like because I'm a striker. Like, yeah, but you were competing against 100 kids more. And if you were in defense, you were already in the team because we were just five defense players.
Right. Right. Yep. No, you're you're right. That was a smart move on your part. Not only did you like that position, but yeah, you got more opportunity there as well. So you said that while soccer did, get you moving and you enjoyed it to some degree, for whatever it happened to be. But the other thing that really got you moving,
Yeah,
dancing.
exactly. Yeah, I
This,
mean,
this is why I could never move to Mexico and have success because the world's worst dancer, and so I would be an epic failure. So you have some skills. Do you just love it, or do you love it and you have some skills?
I think a little bit of both.
All right, good. Okay, cool. Very
I
cool.
think a little bit of both, but because again, in then when I moved to the university, the social work that I have to do for my scholarship was teaching classes, teaching hip hop
Okay.
to other students. And then I moved to rock and roll, like like in Greece and all that, when you dance with
Yeah.
your partner, all
So
that.
you
I
like
I
all types of dancing.
not all,
Or-
but a lot.
Okay, what are your favorites? Hip hop?
Hip hop and rock and roll for
Okay.
sure. Yeah,
Okay.
rock and roll is so fun to do it. When you have a partner that knows how to dance, it's so fun. So
Oh,
fun.
that's
I
cool.
like salsa too.
I was going to say,
Salsa cumbia.
what are the classic traditional dances that one would associate with Mexico? Because I don't think it's hip hop and rock and roll.
Nah, nah, in Mexico would be probably
Okay.
banda music. That is really fun to dance to. It's really fast, really fast. It's kind of fun, weird and fun because the girl has to be. I mean, thinking here that most of the dances are guy and girl or
Yep.
boy and girl. The boy is the one that leads,
Hmm.
and the easiest way of saying it is the girl is like a rag doll.
Gosh, she's just going wherever.
Yeah, she's just going like bam, 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 putting her feet up, and damn, it looks so amazing when someone knows how to dance banda. Looks so good, and it's again also really cool to dance it.
Are
You
there
end up soaking wet from sweat.
is that so I'm going to assume that's probably the most popular type of dancing that's happening in like maybe the clubs or whatever in
Oh
Europe.
no, that's in parties like in regional parties
Oh,
like
okay.
festivals like yeah
Oh,
or
interesting.
But in the clubs, I think it will be reggaeton.
All right, guys. So do you have a place you can find to dance hip hop and rock and roll style around you, or not really?
Nah, not really.
Not really. Okay.
Not really. Yeah, in the nightclubs here is definitely reggaeton. A little bit of electronic music, but mostly reggaeton.
Do you get involved in that at all?
Uh, I used to because I used to like the old reggaeton. I'm getting into that part of my age where I said my music used to be better.
Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, same with the reggaeton. My reggaeton used to be better. I mean, it's still the same kind of lyrics, but the one that I used to hear or listen to was way better than the one they're listening right now. I say to
Darn kids.
everyone, yeah, I say to everyone, the reggaeton that they listen to it to now is really depressing, really, really depressing, and I don't
Interesting.
know how they dance it.
So all of this, you get your body moving in football, you get your body in soccer, you get your body moving in uh, dancing. How did you first start to get interested in CrossFit?
Um, when I was in uni in college, one day I was doing gym stuff, normal gym like powerlifting and do this set of curls, then do some tricep extensions, and they do the rowing machine and all that kind of stuff. And one day my dad actually told me, "Hey, we're trying this new thing in our gym, in the gym that I go to, called CrossFit." And I was like, yeah, I kind of heard of it, but I don't know how it works. But like, okay. And he sent me a workout. To this day, I still remember the workout because it's the first CrossFit workout I did in my life. I check all the movements and I was like, okay, this sounds like a lot, but also it sounds like fun. And the part that I love the most about CrossFit in that time is that you work out, and in less than 20 minutes, you're done. And
Hmm.
probably you work all your body, you work all your muscles, you work a little bit of cardio with it, you work everything, everything, everything. And it only took you less than 1 hour. And the workout was 300.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, I mean, that workout was so good, so good.
Remember
I
doing
didn't
that a
have,
long time ago.
yeah, I think it took me the first time like 20 something minutes because I didn't have good pull-ups. The deadlifts, I think I did it with kettlebell.
Okay.
The push-ups probably were the worst push-ups I have done in my life. Didn't go even to the chest touching the floor. Box jumps, I had no problem with it. Floor wipers, I couldn't hold a barbell over my head with weight on it, so it was just the empty barbell. The alternating kettlebell clean and presses, no problem there. And again, the pull-ups at the end, I don't know what I did. I think I was doing ring rolls or something like that.
Sure.
But then it was really, really fun because when he told me like, yeah, this is the workout that supposedly was the same workout that the guys for the movie 300 were doing every single day to get so jacked to look like that for the movie. It's like, okay, I like it. And then at one point in Mexico and different places, there started to be like a boom of CrossFit and more affiliates and more things. And even colleges and universities, all everything here in Mexico started offering some CrossFit classes.
Okay.
I have to say, it was not CrossFit, but it
Sure,
was
sure.
CrossFit in
Gotcha.
quotations. Um they just did a warm up, a workout. There was no methodology involved or anything, but they call it CrossFit.
Yep.
Uh, so I started getting more into it, and then when I moved outside the dorms from university, into my own apartment, I found out that there was an affiliate a few blocks down my apartment, and went for a try a class, try a class there, and I said like, okay, this is real CrossFit.
Mm.
And I started trying it more, and I mean I went for my 2 classes that they gave for free. And after those 2 classes, I said like, okay, sign me up for the 3 classes a week
Right.
program. I mean, and I have the college the gym at my college for free. I didn't have to pay a thing for it. But I went for the to the affiliate and pay for the monthly fees and the inscriptions and
You saw the
the sign
value.
up. Yeah, I saw the value in it, and after it, I started loving it. I At first it was because it was a kind of workout that I could do in less than an hour. Every single time that I went for it, I felt like I was actually doing something. I didn't like the idea of today you're gonna do bicep curls, tricep extensions, and 15 sit-ups. And next Monday, you're gonna do the same. And next Monday, you're gonna do the same. Next Monday, you're gonna do the same. And then in your second month, we change the routines. Here, every single day was different. That's one of the things I love the most, that no day was the same. And after maybe, I don't know, 3 months into it, I started seeing what I think is the most beautiful thing about CrossFit, that is the community.
Mm.
I started seeing what a CrossFit community was, and that's what I say, like, I'm in the right place.
Absolutely, 100%. And to let everyone know, this has led you to now you own a gym. Like, let everybody know so they can, maybe Google you, find you. Like, tell us about your gym.
Yes, thank you. The gym is called Octo Cross Train Studio. It's called Cross Train because I'm not affiliated. Unfortunately, I want to, but let's be honest, economy is not always in the best places. I'm getting there with all my athletes and getting more people to come to it. It's a really small CrossFit, or well, actually, gym. I cannot say I cannot say it's
The
CrossFit.
gym. Yep, the
It's a
gym.
gym. Uh,
You'll go
I
there and you'll get
mean,
fit.
yeah, you go there, you will get fit. And one of the things I think it's really different from other gyms like it's that our classes are only for 4 people, four
Oh,
people
that's very
maximum.
cool.
So me as a coach, I'm a level 2 CrossFit coach. I will be with you the whole time. I mean, I've seen classes, and I don't say it's wrong, but it's not the same attention that you put into 20 people than you put
Sure.
into 4 people. I mean, when there's people that already know how to do a snatch, you have no problem leaving them alone and just from the other side of the classroom or from the place, just watch them and just give them some easy instructions like put your chest up, bring your shoulders to the back, short instructions, and they get it. But here, the good part is that I'm there. I mean, I don't care. Probably you're doing CrossFit for 3 years, 4 years. I'm gonna still be there, and I'm
Right.
gonna next to you. It's gonna be someone that probably is doing CrossFit for the first time, and I'm also gonna be there. So it's more personal the way you're working with only 4 people than you're working with 20. I love working with a lot of people, but when
Yeah, you get that
I
personal attention.
exactly when I decided to open my own gym, I said like I'm just gonna leave it at maximum 8 people right now because of the space. I can only do it for 4 people. Eventually, the idea is to move out into a place where we can be maximum 8 people. And someone told me, "Hey, but what happens if more people wants to be at a certain hour, let's say 6 p.m.?"
Sure.
and you have 12 people that want to be at 6 p.m. It's like, okay, I'll get another coach and we'll
Mhm.
divide 6 and 6.
Right. Right.
Therefore, you still get a small group. Are doing the same class, but you
Keep
have a
the
coach
quality the
every,
same.
yeah, you have a coach every maximum 8 people.
So let's say somebody's going to take a vacation down to Veracruz. And
Yes.
so what's your Instagram or the gym's Instagram so they can find you?
The gym Instagram is Octo Cross Train. Cross Train, as you normally spelled it, and Octo it's OC no OKTO.
OKTO. Okay. Octocross train. And then what's your Instagram?
My Instagram is El Capi Cross.
Okay.
That's
Copy cross.
EL Capi, like you will normally say it, CAPI, and cross from CrossFit.
Perfect. Uh, and I guess maybe just in closing to have some fun here and have a real conversation. Um, I said if people head down there for vacation, right? And I know you said a second ago that it's not a high vacation spot. I'm curious to get your opinions, right? Because I'm filming this from the United
Yes.
States. And it's interesting, like I said, I've spent a lot of time in Mexico, South America, Central America, and on before some of the trips I've done down there, like I think back to the motorcycle trip that I did in 2013, which I drove from all the way through Mexico, north to south, and then all the way down Central and South America. And anyone I told that trip to about in the United States, for better or for worse, probably influenced by our news, to be quite honest with you, our media. There was only two countries out of all those countries I was going to go through that they were like, I can't believe you're going to do that. It's so dangerous. Something horrible is going to happen. Mexico and Colombia.
Yeah.
Mexico and Colombia. They were like, you should avoid those countries at all costs because the second that you enter those countries, it's just chaos. And and in the end of that journey, I had wonderful experiences in all the countries. So this is not to say that the other countries weren't great, but the funny thing is, if you asked me for the two countries in which I would have to say the people were the most amazing and friendly, it was Mexico and Colombia. It was exactly the two that everyone told me I should be terrified of. What, where in the world do you think that comes from?
Um, what part? The being so nice or the people hating
Let's do
on
both.
us?
Where do you think the image that we're shown in the US that it's nothing but a chaotic and dangerous country to be avoided? Where do you think that comes from?
I mean, I think for that one, the easy answer is, and I don't want to make like free ads for anyone, but go to Netflix and watch what is the one of the biggest Netflix series there,
Right, right.
Narcos.
Oh, Narcos, yeah.
And the first season of Narcos is about Pablo Escobar, that was the biggest narco in Colombia, and the second season is about Amado Carrillo, the biggest narco in Mexico.
Hmm.
So that's the reason I think we have so bad reputation in general, or being so dangerous, is because of these cartels and all these narcos and all that stuff. Uh, but having said that, I think uh, what happens most of the time is that, and people don't realize about that, is that they think that they are there, like they are always there. Probably they are, but they will not get in contact with you if you don't mess with them. Like, it's like
That,
the
that
phrase
was my
of like, if
experience.
you mess with the bull, you're gonna get the horns. It's exactly that. Like,
Yeah,
they are there, yes, but if you don't mess with them, they're not gonna mess with you.
right. And that's not to say that it's unfair to paint an entire country with one narrative. Like I'm sure there are parts of the country that you would recommend somebody avoids. And it's the same deal of like if you came to my country, I would give you some recommendations on where you should go and where you shouldn't go. And if you were going to go to New York or LA, I'd like to be okay, you can find trouble in this area in New York. I don't think that you should go there, or you can go to this other area of New York and have a wonderful, happy time. And they're both the same city.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
I mean, it's like saying, for example, with the example of New York, it's not the same saying to people that are visiting New York for the first time, like, hey, you should go to Brooklyn, or hey, you should go to the Bronx.
Hmm.
Like,
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
yeah, exactly that.
There's
And
good people everywhere and there's trouble everywhere. So I guess then the opposite is, the other part is, like I said, I had the total opposite experience. The Mexicans and Colombians that I interacted with were some of the most wonderful, warm, welcoming, friendly, awesome people that I encountered on my entire trip. Uh, you know, is that just me having great experiences, or do you think that's a pretty good representation
I
of the
think it's a
Mexican
really
culture?
good representation of both our cultures. I have talked, I mean, I studied a BA in international relations. I have talked with a lot of friends about it, people from Colombia also. And I think the reason we are so open to it, and again, with all these talks, I have told some friends that are from Colombia that have come here and some friends from Mexico that have gone to Colombia, and they go like, dude, I felt like I never left my country.
Mm,
Like the people are so welcoming and so like the Colombians saying the Mexicans are so like Colombians and Mexicans saying Colombians are so like Mexicans that people, I mean, I think we're two countries that get so good together. We have a lot of fun. I don't know if you here in these Lynchpin conversations you swear or not,
do whatever you want
but
to do. You're free.
okay, thank you. I think the reason we do it is because we know life is shit
Mm,
and better make the most of it. I mean, I think that's the general understanding for Colombians and Mexicans. I mean, I cannot speak for Colombians, but
sure,
what I
sure.
can see for Mexicans is that we know life is shit. So better have fun with it. And I think the biggest, and again, it's one of my favorite holidays. I think it's my favorite holiday in general because also the food is so good. Uh, and it's really well expressed. For example, in Coco, Dia de Muertos here in Mexico, the Day of the Dead, we are celebrating death.
Mm,
I mean, who does that?
right.
So we're celebrating the end of a journey. We're celebrating this part of life that it comes to an end. But we are also remembering those people that are no longer with us in a physical form. Probably they are in a spiritual form. You believe in anything. Uh, but it's really fun about it. That's a fun about it. It's like we more than laugh about that, we embrace it. We know it's a part of life. We enjoy it. We know that enjoying life is part of it. And when we die, we're gonna have a great moment, and we're gonna have a day or 2 days to come back from the land of the dead to visit our loved ones and have fun again and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's two movies that I would recommend people to watch to understand Mexican culture, and that will and specifically Day of the Dead, and there will be Coco. Definitely watch Coco, and it will be also The Book of Life.
Mm.
That one is again also really, really, really beautiful. Speaks so well about the Day of the Dead too. Um, but yeah, I think in general that's the reason we both are so good at welcoming people and being fun and really nice to hang around. Like, if you want to have a really fun group of friends, have a Mexican in it.
Amen to that. 100,
Yeah.
100%. Well, uh, count on, I don't know when, but count on sometime in the future, at least me and my wife heading down to Veracruz for a getaway to Mexico. I don't know if we'll bring all the kids or whatnot, if it'll just be a parents' weekend, but it is 100% on my list, man.
I'm more than happy to welcome you guys here.
It's going to be fantastic. Well, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you every week, be one of the people that helps me out with my Spanish. I think it's a beautiful language and it's a fun mental challenge to push forward. And thanks for being a part of what makes Linchpin special.
Thank you so much for having us, and thank you so much for the wonderful workouts that you do, even though we hate when you put running in it.
I do my best. All right, man. We'll talk soon.
Yeah,
Later.
I